Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking a look at two important coins in British decimal history, the 1969 and 1973 50 pence pieces. The 1969 coin was the very first year the 50p entered circulation, and the 1973 coin was issued to mark the UK's entry into the European Economic Community. While most of these coins are common, some uncirculated examples, proofs, and rare errors can be worth big money. In this video, I'll explain what to look for and how much these coins are worth today. Let's get started. First up, in the late 1960s, the UK was preparing to switch from the old pounds, shillings, and pence system to a simpler decimal currency. The 50 pence coin was a crucial part of this transition. It was introduced in 1969, 2 years before Decimal Day in 1971, to help people get used to the idea of decimal money, replaced the paper 10-shilling note, which had been in use for many years. The new coin had to be distinctive enough to be recognized, but also practical to use in vending machines, which is why the 50p coin was given its now famous 7-sided equilateral curve heptagon shape. This made it unique and instantly recognizable. The design of the 1969 50p is iconic. The obverse shows the first decimal portrait of Queen Elizabeth by Arnold machine, where the Queen is facing right and wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. This is one of the most admired portraits of the Queen and was used on coins from 1968 to 1984. The reverse features the classic Britannia, designed by Christopher Ironside, showing Britannia seated with her shield and trident, accompanied by a lion with the inscription "New Pence" and the denomination 50 below. This was meant to symbolize strength, continuity, and Britain's maritime history, an important reassurance during a time when the entire currency system was being changed. One detail that makes the 1969 issue special is that it was one of the early years to bear the inscription "New Pence" instead of just 50 pence. This wording was used from 1969 until 1981 as a way to avoid confusion among the public during the transition to decimal currency. Later, in 1982, the inscription was changed to 50 pence permanently. For collectors, coins with new pence represent the early phase of decimalization and carry extra historical charm. The 1969 issue is therefore the very first example of this style, making it a must-have for anyone assembling a full-date run of large-size 50p. When it comes to mintage, 1969 saw a very healthy production run. Over 188 million 50p coins were struck that year, making it one of the highest mintages of the large-size 50p era. This was necessary because the coin was replacing a widely used banknote, so back then these coins were absolutely everywhere. Today, however, you will not find them in your change because the Royal Mint demonetized the large 50p coins in 1997. When the size was reduced, many were returned to the banks and melted down, which means surviving examples now mostly exist in private collections, coin dealers' inventories, or tucked away in old change jars. So what is a 1969 50p coin worth today? Because it was struck in such high numbers, circulated examples are still relatively common on the collector market and usually sell for around £1 to £2 in average condition. However, uncirculated or brilliant uncirculated specimens, especially those still in their original Royal Mint packaging, can fetch £5 to £10 or more. Proof examples from official sets can be even more valuable, often selling for £15 or higher depending on condition. As with all coins, the key value factor is grade. Coins with nowhere sharp details and original mint luster will always command a premium. Collectors love the 1969 50p not just for its status as the very first issue, but also because it represents a turning point in British monetary history. Many collectors attempt to build a complete run of all the large C's Britannia 50p coins from 1969 through 1997, and of course, 1969 is the essential starting point. For that set, it's also a great conversation piece because it looks and feels different from modern coins, heavier, larger, and with that distinctive heptagonal shape that was brand new at the time. From an investment perspective, 1969 50p are affordable entry-level coins that could slowly appreciate over time. especially in higher grades as more collectors enter the hobby and seek to complete full sets of pre-1997 50 PS. Demand for top quality examples will continue to grow. Proof strikes and coins graded by professional grading services, for example those in MS65 or MS66 condition, are especially good candidates for long-term holding since they will always be scarcer than ordinary circulated coins. Here's a fun fact: when the 50p was first introduced, some members of the public were skeptical about its unusual 7-sided shape. Some people even worried that it wouldn't roll properly in vending machines or coin slots, but in fact the shape was specifically engineered to have a constant width, meaning it works perfectly in coin-operated machines. Another bit of trivia: the large size 50p was the world's first 7-sided coin of this kind, making the UK a pioneer in coin design. That's one more reason why the 1969 coin is considered historically significant worldwide. So there you have it, the full story of the 1969 UK 50 pence coin, its origins as the replacement for the 10-shilling note, its unique design, massive mintage, collector appeal, and current value. If you have one of these coins, take a close look at its condition. You might have a nice piece of history in your hands, and if you're starting a collection, this is one of the most affordable and historically important coins you can buy. If you enjoy this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more coin history videos, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss future uploads. Drop a comment below. Do you own a 1969 50p, or are you on the hunt for one? And I'll see you in the next video as we explore more treasures from Britain's numismatic. Next up, to understand why this coin was issued, we have to go back to the early 1970s. The UK had applied to join the EC several times, but was finally admitted on January 1, 1973 alongside Denmark and Ireland. This was a huge milestone in the country's post-war history, as it marked the start of closer economic and political integration with Europe. To commemorate this historic moment, the Royal Mint decided to issue a special large-size 50p coin, the first time a commemorative design had appeared on the 50 pence denomination. This decision set a precedent for future special designs on the 50p, which has since become one of the most collected denominations in British coinage. The design of the 1973 50p is one of the most striking and symbolic of any coin from this era. The reverse was created by artist David Wynn and features a ring of 9 hands, each clasping the wrist of the next, forming a circle to symbolize cooperation and unity between the 9 member states of the EC. At the time the denomination 50 pence is placed in the center, the obverse carries the familiar Arnold Machen portrait of Queen Elizabeth II wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara facing right. The combination of this portrait and the unique reverse design made this coin instantly recognizable and a powerful statement of Britain's new relationship with Europe. One of the reasons this coin is so well known is that it had a massive mintage. Around 89.7 million were produced for circulation, making it one of the most common commemorative coins of the pre-1997 large-size 50p series. Practically everyone in the UK at the time would have encountered this coin in their change, which means it was a great way to commemorate and raise awareness of the event. Despite the high mintage, these coins are no longer found in everyday use because the Royal Mint withdrew and demonetized the large-size 50p coins in 1997 when the smaller, lighter version was introduced. In addition to the circulation strike, the Royal Mint also produced brilliant uncirculated and proof versions of the 1973 50p, which were sold in presentation packs and annual coin sets. These higher quality examples are particularly sought after by collectors today because they have sharper details and were struck to a superior finish. If you find a 1973 50p with a mirror-like field and crisp design, there's a good chance it came from one of these special sets. So how much is the 1973 50p worth in today's collector market? Because so many were minted circulated examples are not considered rare and typically sell for around £1 to £2 depending on where. However, brilliant uncirculated examples can sell for £5 to £10, and proof versions, particularly those still in their original packaging, can command £10 to £20 or more. Graded coins in top condition, such as those certified as MS65 or higher, may fetch even higher prices from serious collectors who want the best example available. Collectors love the 1973 50p because it was the first commemorative 50 pence ever produced, and because its design is so bold and distinctive. It also serves as a fascinating historical artifact representing Britain's entry into what would later become the EU. For anyone building a date run of large-size 50p coins, the 1973 issue is an essential piece, and since it has such a high mintage, it's usually one of the easiest commemorative 50ps to obtain, making it a great starting point for new collectors. From an investment point of view, the 1973 50p is more of a historical collectible than a high-value rarity, simply because there are so many of them still out there that said top quality examples, especially those in proof or uncirculated condition, do appreciate gradually over time as more collectors seek out pristine coins to add to their sets. If you own one in exceptional condition, it's worth protecting it in a coin capsule to preserve its value for the future. Here's a fun fact: the clasped hands design was quite controversial at the time because it was so modern and abstract compared to traditional coin designs, but it became a classic, and its message of unity and cooperation still resonates decades later. Another interesting point: this coin was part of the reason why the 50p became known as the UK's most collectible coin nomination, paving the way for future special designs like the 1990 for D-Day 50p, the 1998 NHS 50p, and eventually the rare 2009 Kew Gardens coin. And that's the full story of the 1973 50 pence coin, the very first commemorative 50p in the UK's history, marking Britain's entry into the European economic community with its unique clasped hands design, massive mintage, and lasting place in coin collecting culture. If you have one of these coins, take a moment to appreciate its historical significance. Is more than just change. It's a piece of Britain's journey through the 20th century. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin history, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another coin collecting video, and drop a comment below. Do you have a 1973 50p in your collection, and is it circulated, uncirculated, or proof? I'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching.